Everyone knows Indonesia has some of the richest oceans on the planet. But those incredible resources are under some serious, serious pressure. So today, we're going to dive into a new analysis that's basically sounding the alarm, but also it's proposing a way back from the edge.
Let's just start with a number, 50.51%. What is that? Well, according to the very latest data we have for 2024, that's the percentage of Indonesia's fishery groups that are already being overfished. Think about that for a second. More than half have already been pushed past their sustainable limits.
So that number naturally leads us to the big, scary question we're tackling today. This isn't really a debate about if there's a problem anymore. The question is, how bad is it? How close are we to a tipping point that we just can't come back from?
To really get a handle on that, we first have to understand the sheer scale of what's happening. We're talking about a whole system that's flashing bright red warning lights all over the place. You see, that 50.51% figure, it's not just some statistic about a couple of fish species having a bad year. No, this is a major structural warning. It's telling us that the way we're currently doing things is pushing the entire ecosystem beyond its ability to heal itself.
To make this less of an abstract idea, let's zoom in and get specific. We're going to look at one particularly hard-hit area. It's a fisheries management area called WPRNRI 712, which covers the Java Sea and the Karamata Strait.
And wow, just look at these numbers. They are absolutely staggering. Remember, the sustainable limit is 100%. Well, small pelagic fish are being caught at 166% of that limit. Large pelagics, 230%. And demersal fish, they were harvested at nearly 3 times the sustainable level. This isn't just overfishing. This is systematically mining the ocean.
Okay, so what happens if this just keeps going? Well, this isn't just a problem for the fish. It's the beginning of a domino effect that spirals into a much bigger crisis for everyone.
And this is that domino effect in action. It all starts to cascade. Overfishing messes with the whole food web. Then, the size and quality of the fish you can catch goes down. That forces fishers to burn more fuel and go further out to sea for a smaller, less valuable catch. That, in turn, hurts the national economy. And maybe worse of all, it's stealing a critical resource from our kids and grandkids.
So, faced with this pretty grim reality, the source material we're looking at says a huge change is needed, and fast. This brings us to the big proposed solution, a policy known in Indonesia as PIT, or measured fishing.
Now, the core argument here is really important. The policy, PIT, isn't being presented as just one of many options to debate for years. It's being framed as an absolute necessity, something that has to be done to save both the environment and the economy.
So, what is it exactly? Well, at its heart, PIT is really about common sense. It's a system designed to make sure that the amount of fish we take out of the ocean doesn't go over what the ocean can naturally replace. It's about aligning what we do with the actual biology of the fish.
And how would it work? Well, it's all built on 3 main pillars. First, you set firm, science-based quotas, hard limits on what can be caught. Second, you use spatial zoning to map out specific areas for fishing, for industry, and for conservation. And third, and this is crucial, you bring in stricter monitoring, using technology to make sure everyone is actually following the rules.
When you put it all together, this policy is really a fundamental shift in thinking. It's a move away from what's basically been a chaotic free-for-all to a much more controlled, managed system.
This slide really lays out the choice perfectly. On one side, you have the current model. It's open access, it's a race to get as much as you can right now, and that always leads to collapse. The PIT model completely flips that script. It's about control, sustainability, and working with nature's limits to make sure there's something left for the future.
Ultimately, this whole situation brings Indonesia, and really any country facing this, to a critical fork in the road. It's a choice about what kind of future they actually want for their oceans.
So the key takeaway here is that putting a policy like PIT in place isn't just about saying no. It's about achieving these incredibly important goals. It's about actually turning the ship around, protecting a massive national treasure, and making sure that fishing can be a good, honest living for generations to come.
The analysis puts the stakes in really stark terms with this quote. It's just a direct, powerful statement about cause and effect. The decisions that are made, or not made, right now, will absolutely determine what happens next. There's no escaping it.
And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. The data is terrifying, and a science-based solution like measured fishing is right there on the table. But, knowing what to do is often the easy part.
The real challenge, the question we want to leave you with, is how? What will it actually take to make this happen and win this critical race against time?